Today we are going to study about the seeds, fruit, apomixis, a particular special process, apomixis and polyembryonic. Okay, so let us start the details of the seed. Seed. Actually, seed means a fertilized ovule. When the ovule become mature, fertilized ovule become mature, and that converting into structure that is known as the seed. So a fertilized ovule is called the seed. The seeds are formed inside the fruit. Okay, suppose this is the ovule, and this ovule after the fertilization that is containing the zygote, and this zygote will developing into embryo. Okay, and this ovule later forming the seed. So a mature ovule is not fertilized ovule. Mature fertilized ovule is known as the seed. So a mature fertilized ovule, that is known as the seed. Mature fertilized ovule. Fertilized ovule is known as the seed. Okay, and that ovule, that is seed, is present inside the fruit. So it is forming seed forming inside the fruit. A seed consists of three different regions. So what are the three different part of the seed? One of the part is the seed coat. So the seed coat. There is an outer covering, and this outer covering is known as the seed coat. Okay, and the another one, second part is the cotyledon. The seed containing the cotyledon. The cotyledon may store food material. Cotyledon. Okay, that is using by the growing embryo. And embryonal axis, very important, embryonal axis. This embryonal axis having plumule and radicle, that already we referred many places. Okay, so these are the three important part of the seed coat, cotyledon, embryonal axis. Okay, the cotyledon are thick and swollen due to the storage of food. This cotyledon is very thick and swollen, enlarged. Swollen means enlarged. Why it is enlarged? Because the storage of the food. And the seed coat have two regions, that is the outer seed coat, that is known as the testa. Testa is the outer and tegumen is the inner. There are two layers. The seed coat have two layers, outer testa and inner tegumen. And this cotyledon is a swollen, sort of enlarged because the storage of the food materials. So it is a thick and swollen. And embryonal axis that is consisting plumule and radicle. Plumule producing the, later it will produce the shoot system, and it also containing radicle. The radicle later forming the root, radicle. Okay, so it is producing the root later. It is producing during the time of the germination. It is producing the root. So these are the different part of the seed. Then the seeds are classified into two types. So how it is classified into two types? See what are the two types? Number one, it is known as the albuminous seed. Albuminous seed. And another one is the ex-albuminous seed or non-albuminous seed. Albuminous and non-albuminous, or ex-albuminous, non-albuminous seed. So how the classification is performed? Albuminous, non-albuminous seed. So in the case of the albuminous seed, the endosperm will remaining there. Endosperm means the structure, it is storing the food material after the double fertilization. Due to the triple fusion, the endosperm is producing. This endosperm containing the food material. It is actually endosperm, actually the stored food. Okay, so those seed that are containing the endospermal residue. So retaining the seed which is retaining the part of the endosperm, it is because it is not completely used up by the embryo during the development. Such a type of the seed is known as the albuminous seed, or it is known as endospermic seed. And most of the endospermic seeds are monocotyledon seed. For example, maize and jowar and rice. That's a common example. Jowar and rice. These are the monocotyledon plant. In this monocotyledon plant, the endosperm will remaining there. Only little bit used by the embryo for the development, and even after the development of the embryo, the endosperm will remaining there. Lot of endosperm will remaining there. So such a such a seed in which the endosperm is retained after the formation of the embryo is known as the albuminous seed. And then what is the exalbuminous, or it is known as a non-albuminous seed? During the development of the embryo, most of the endosperm is consumed. Only a very little endosperm will be there. Not considerable endosperm, very negligible endosperm will remaining there, or no endosperm will remaining there. Such a type of thing seed is known as a non-albuminous seed. The non-albuminous seed is mostly pea varieties. All the pea varieties are example for that. Example groundnut, etc. Okay, all these are the example for the non-albuminous seed. In the groundnut that we are actually eating, it is actually cotyledon, not endosperm. That is a cotyledon. Okay, I told many times cotyledon. So that is the two type of the seeds based on the behavior of the endosperm. If endosperm remaining major portion in the seed even after the formation of the embryo, such a type of the seed is known as albuminous seed. And during the embryonic development, most of the major part of the endosperm is consumed. Only negligible quantity may be remaining there, or it may be zero. But cotyledon storing the food material, such a type of the seed is known as a non-albuminous seed. Pea plant, all the pea plant, example groundnut are the example for the non-albuminous seed. So that is a two type of the seed. Then say in some seeds like black pepper, some example black pepper. So in this example, the different method is the following: black pepper and beet seed. The nucellus will remaining around the nucellus. The nucellus remain. Little nucellus is remaining as a thin layer. That is actually two in condition. Diploid. It is diploid. Are present around the embryo. So around the embryo, a thin layer of the nucellus will remaining in some plant like a black pepper and a beet. So that thin layer of the nucellus is known as the perisperma. So you got this point. That is during the development of the embryo development, the cotyledon embryo development, the endosperm will form. After the form, actually endosperm is forming from the nucellus. And this endosperm, after the formation of this endosperm, the nucellus, diploid condition nucellus, it remaining a thin layer outside that. Not in all the plants, only a particular plant like black pepper and beet. This nucellus is remaining as a thin layer outside. That thin layer of the nucellus is known as what is? That is known as the perisperma. So this perisperma 2 or 3 times asked for the NEET examination. So remember that what is the perisperma? Perisperma is a thin layer of the nucellus present around the embryo. So nucellus is a diploid. So perisperma is also diploid. So that is the perisperma and seed coat, different layers of the seed coat. Then say integument of the ovule. What happens to the integument of the ovule? Let us see that. Okay. Integument. So what is actually integument? You know, if you take the ovule, we studied the structure of the ovule. The ovule has an outer layer, the two integument present outside. The outer integument and inner integument. So like that, two integument, two cover present like this one, and here is the chalacel and funicle, etc. These are the integument. So what happens to this integument? This integument will change into seed coat. Okay. So integument of the ovule, integument of ovule, that will change into seed coat. That is seed coat. I told little bit earlier, that is there are two seed coat. It will change into integument, change into seed coat, and this seed coat are two types. So that is this outermost integument that is change into testa. Testa is hard and very strong, and the inner integument, this is the inner one, and this inner will change into what is change into another layer that is known as the tegumen. So testa and tegumen, it is producing two layers, that is the testa and tegumen. So the ovule is converting into seed. Then this integument is converting into seed coat. The integument are two, outer integument and inner integument. Outer integument change into testa and inner integument change into tegumen. In some seeds, the test and tegmen is very clear. For example, in the case of the pea plant, etc., whatever pea plant, it is very clear. You can separate this very easily. But in the case of the monocotyledon plant, for example, maize and jowar like plant, the test and tegmen is very closely attached, and we cannot separate from one each other. Test and tegmen you cannot separate. We eating all these tested tegmen and endosperm we consuming actually. In the case of the monocotyledon plant like rice and jowar and maize, etc. Okay. And when you see the seed having a concave part here, like this, a concave part, and in this concave part, you may see a white patch, a white marking you can see, and this white marking is actually this funicle. So this is the funicle of the ovule, and this funicle is remaining there. That is known as the raphe. It is known as the raphe. Just below the funicle. So in the case of the ovule, here is an opening. This opening is known as the micropyle. That already we studied in detail. Micropyle. This is called micropyle. Through the micropyle, the pollen tube is entering inside. Okay, and this micropyle is remaining at the base of this raphe. That is known as the that here also it is known as the micropyle. Micropyle. So what is the use of this micropyle? Micropyle helping to enter the oxygen inside and carbon dioxide outside, because seed is actually living things. It is requiring oxygen, and metabolism is going on very slowly, and due to this metabolism carbon dioxide is also forming. So this carbon dioxide is moving outside and oxygen is entering inside through this micropyle opening. Okay. As the seed mature, water content, when the seed is maturing, the water content become reduced. Okay, when the seed mature, what happens? The main change when the seed mature is the water content become reduced. Water content reduced. So how much water content reduced? That is the question. Near about 10 to 15 percentage, 10 to 15 percentage moisture by mass of the water content will reduce in the seed. 10 to 15% water will be reduced, moisture content will be reduced by mass. Metabolic activity in the seed is very slow. Metabolism is very slow. Metabolism means a chemical reaction. Metabolic activity in the seed is very slow. Activity slow, very slow. So very little carbon dioxide is forming, and this carbon dioxide is removing outside through this micropyle. Micropyle, and oxygen is entering inside for the metabolism. Embryo enter, that is the embryo is entering into the stage that is known as the dormancy stage. That condition is known as the dormancy stage. So actually the seed, well matured seed, is the dormant condition of the embryo. Embryo performing the metabolic rate very slowly. It uses oxygen very slowly. The water is reduced, so this embryo is entered into the dormancy stage, a stagnant stage or the dormancy stage. So that is called a dormant stage of the embryo. So under favorable condition, favorable condition means suitable temperature and moisture, etc. Are available. The suitable condition is available, and this seed undergoing the germination, or the embryo is undergoing germination. So during the germination, it is requiring the water is entering through this same micropyle, and it will enlarge and breaking the seed pod, and this embryo will coming outside. So as ovule mature into seed and ovary into fruit, means the ovule converting into the ovule converting into seed, and the outer covering, that is the ovary, is converting into what is fruit. It is converting into fruit. So that is the post fertilization changes. Fertilization, fertilization, after the fertilization, these changes are taken place. So ovule converting into seed and ovaries are converting into fruit. Okay, and the seed coat and the ovule integument that are converting into seed coat. Okay, so let us study next fruit. What is actually fruit? So fruit means I already told here, the ovary converting into fruit. So a well matured ovary is known as what is fruit. So fruit is the matured ovary, and this fruit are broadly classified into two types. So what are the two types of the fruit? One of the type of fruit is known as the fleshy fruit, and another one is known as the dry fruit. So fleshy fruit, example guava. guava, and orange is another example is orange, and mango, etc. There are a lot of examples. Mango are the fleshy fruit. Dry fruit example, groundnut is a dry fruit. Groundnut. And mustard is another dry fruit, mustard. So these are the what is the difference between this? The fleshy fruit, the mesocarp become very smooth and very soft that it can be edible. In the case of the dry fruit, the mesocarp or epicarp, mesocarp or the pericarp is very dry that it cannot edible. Okay, and in the some cases the fruits are classified into false fruit also. False fruit. So the fruit also classified into false fruit and true fruit. In another way, what is the difference between true fruit and false fruit? True fruit means the fruit developing from the ovary is known as a matured ovary is known as a true fruit. So fleshy fruit and dry fruit are example for what is true fruit. And false fruit means the fruit developing from the part of the plant other than the ovary. Okay, so fruit developing from the ovary. In some case, the fruit not developing from the ovary, the fruit developing from the other part of the flower. For example, thalamus, the fruit developing from the thalamus. Okay, it is not a ovary, thalamus, fruit developing from the thalamus or fruit developing from the pedicel. Kai plant मध्ये pedicel मधून fruit तयार होतो, developing from the pedicel. In this condition, this fruit is known as the false fruit. So fruit developing from the ovary is known as the true fruit. Example, fleshy fruit and dry fruit. And fruit developing from the part other than the ovary, it is known as a false fruit. It may be thalamus or it may be pedicel or the whole thalamus and pedicel, the fruit is developing. So let us take one example for the false fruit. One of the example for the false fruit is the cashew nut. Okay, let us see the false fruit. False fruit. A very good example for the false fruit is an apple. Is a very good example, and a cashew nut is also good example for the false fruit. Apple and cashew nut. We take two examples. Cashew nut. These are the two good examples for the false fruit. See, in the case of the apple, you can see the spherical structure of the apple like this, and this structure it is actually edible, and this edible part is actually thalamus. So and the seed present inside. So you can see the seed here. So seed present inside. This is the seed. So this is actually ovary. Around the ovary, when the apple is forming, suppose this is the pedicel, and here is the thalamus. Okay, this is the thalamus. And when the apple is forming, this is the fertilized ovary. Okay, and this thalamus and the pedicel, a part of the pedicel is growing around the ovary, and finally it enlarging and finally forming an apple like a structure like this. So this is the thalamus. This is actually thalamus, and this is the seed. So seed present inside the ovary. This is the ovary. So here in the case of the apple, the fruit is developing from the thalamus and not from the ovary. So apple is the example for what is false fruit. In the case of the cashew nut, see the cashew nut, this is the thalamus, and this thalamus is enlarged and become edible part. So it enlarged and become edible part, and the seed you can see here. This is the seed. So this is actually what is, it is a thalamus and pedicel, a part of the pedicel and the thalamus. So this is also known as what is false fruit. That is the false fruit and true fruit example. Okay. Then what is the advantages of the seed? What is the significance of the seed? Advantages of the seed. There are a lot of advantages for the seed. One of the advantages, seed require water for development provided by the fruit. Seed require water for development period by the fruit. So the fruit providing the water for that. And number two, seed adapted variously for the dispersion by on. Dispersion means seed helping for the dispersion of the plant. For example, a mango is eaten by the a crow, and the crow is taking the fruit and sitting in the another plant or the distant place, and it will drop the seed in the and the seed developing into plant very distant places. So dispersion of the plant dispersion of plant dispersion of the plant, the seed is very essential. Then third point, the seed coat to provide protection. The seed coat, seed having the seed coat, and this seed coat giving the protection to the embryo. Embryo is protected, so this protected, and this embryo can remaining for the long time. Otherwise, the embryo will damage. So seed coat, seed with the seed coat, it is helping to protect the embryo. Okay. Then the next one, that is the sexual formed by the sexual seed is formed by the sexual reproduction. So source of variation. Seed having the variation because seed is produced by sexual reproduction. So different plants, variable plants will produce from the seed. That is another significance of the seed. Seed help to store. So it is helping to store for a long time. The seed, we can store the seed for the long time, and whenever the time is suitable, and we can take the seed outside, and then a new plant can be produced or stored for a long time. Then another significance, it raise seed help to raise a crop in the next season. So suppose this season the seed is produced, and this seed can be used for the next season, and so it can be stored for a long time. That is the same point. And next point, that is the viability of the seed varied in the different species. Viability. What is the viability? Viability is different in the different seeds. Viability means the seed can germinate and produce the ability of the seed to germinate into a new plant, that is known as a viability. So एक प्लांट एक सीड, त्या सीड मधून एक नवीन प्लांट तयार करण्याची तर क्षमता, त्या क्षमतेला आपण काय म्हणायचं, वायबिलिटी म्हणायचं. सीड वायबल आहे म्हटलं तर त्यातून एक प्लांट तयार होणार आहे. सीड वायबल नाही म्हटलं तर त्यातून सीड तयार होणार, एक प्लांट तयार होणार नाही, जर्मिनेशन होणार नाही. आणि हा वायबिलिटी इज डिफरंट इन डिफरंट प्लांट आहे. काही प्लांट मध्ये एक आठवड्यात ते सीड बाद होतो, काही प्लांट मध्ये एक महिन्यात बाद होणार आहे, काही प्लांट 100 वर्ष जास्त राहतो, काही मोर दॅन 100 years रहता. फॉर एग्जाम्पल सम एग्जाम्पल मी देतो. दॅट इज द लुपिनस आर्क्टिस म्हणून एक प्लांट आहे. लुपिनस आर्क्टिकस लुपिनस आर्क्टिकस हा एक प्लांट आहे. सो दिस प्लांट हॅविंग द वायबिलिटी नियर अबाउट 10,000 years 10,000 years त्याला वायबिलिटी आहे. म्हणजे 10,000 वर्ष सुद्धा या सीड जिवंत राहू शकते. आणि इट कॉमनली फाउंड इन द आर्टिक टंड्रा, आर्टिक रिजन मध्ये, आर्टिक टंड्रा मध्ये, तुंद्रा म्हणतो पण टंड्रा मध्ये या प्लांट दिसतात. हे 10,000 वर्ष त्याचे सीड आपण ठेवू शकते, त्याला काहीच होणार नाही. तर दुसरं एक प्लांट मी सांगतो, दॅट इज द फिनिक्स डॅक्टिलिफरा म्हणून एक प्लांट आहे. फिनिक्स डॅक्टिलिफरा हे दुसरे एक प्लांट आहे. हे प्लांटचं वायबिलिटी, सीडचे वायबिलिटी, नॉट अ प्लांट, सीडचे वायबिलिटी नियर अबाउट 20,000 years बिफोर, 20,000 वर्षापूर्वीच याचे सीड आपल्याला सापडलेलं आहे बर्फमध्ये. हे प्लांट, हे सीड आज पण 20 वर्षानंतर सुद्धा हे वायबल कंडिशन मध्ये होतात. सो इट इज अ डिफरंट, द वायबिलिटी इज डिफरंट इन डिफरंट प्लांट. Actually the Dactylifera, Phoenix Dactylifera seed, archaeological excavation at King Herod Palace near the Dead Sea. Dead Sea आहे. या डेड सीच्या किनाऱ्यामध्ये एक पॅलेस आहे. ते पॅलेस कोणाचे पॅलेस होते? हेरोडस किंग पॅलेस होते. ते पॅलेस मध्ये आर्किओलॉजिस्ट ते माती उकरत असताना किंवा ते खड्डे काढत असताना तिथं त्याचे सीड सापडलेले आहे. ओके, सो दॅट इज द ॲडव्हान्टेजेस ऑफ द सीड्स. आता आपण पुढच्या पार्ट मध्ये जाऊया. दॅट इज द अपोमिक्सिस. व्हॉट इज ऍक्च्युअली अपोमिक्सिस? A new technical term that is called apomixis. So what is the apomixis? Apomixis is a type of the asexual reproduction. So it is a type of the asexual reproduction. asexual reproduction, that mimicking reproduction, asexual reproduction that mimic म्हणजे नक्कल करणे, that mimic sexual reproduction, that mimic sexual reproduction. Actually ते sexual reproduction नाहीच आहे, पण आपण बघितलं ते सेक्शुअल रिप्रोडक्शन सारखं आपल्याला वाटतंय, पण ते asexual reproduction आहे. Asexual reproduction mimic sexual reproduction, that method is known as the apomixis. So actually कसं ते apomixis तयार होतं, actually a seed developing from the embryo or the ovule, okay, diploid embryo मध्ये तयार होतो. पण काही प्लांट मध्ये काय होतं, मगाशी मी सांगितलं होतं पेरिस्पर्म मधून एक शब्द मी वापरले, पेरिस्पर्म म्हणजे एम्ब्रियो तयार झाले आणि न्यूक्लियस त्याच्या आउटसाइड मध्ये एक थिन लेयर म्हणून राहतात. सो दिस इज द पेरिस्पर्म. हा पेरिस्पर्म मध्ये जे सेल आहे, पेरिस्पर्म मध्ये जे सेल आहे ते डिप्लॉइड असणार आहे. ओके, डिप्लॉइड. काही वेळा काय होतं, ह्या सेल त्यामध्ये असलेले काही सेल त्याच्या आत असं पुशिंग करतो, या एम्ब्रियोच्या आत पुशिंग करणार आहे. सो दिस इज द 2n कंडिशन सेल अँड दिस बिहेविंग एज एन एम्ब्रियो. हे एम्ब्रियो सारखं बिहेव करतात. हे सिट्रस फ्रूट मध्ये हे सर्वात जास्त दिसते आपल्याला. आणि दुसरं एक त्याच्या आत असं पुशिंग होतो आणि हे पण एक एम्ब्रियो म्हणून काम करतात. हे इथून दुसरे एक आत पुशिंग करतो, हे पण एक एम्ब्रियो म्हणून काम करतात. तर असं अनेक एम्ब्रियो, एक ओव्ह्यूलच्या आत आपण अनेक एम्ब्रियो दिसणार त्यात, ओव्ह्यूलच्या आत अनेक एम्ब्रियो त्यामध्ये दिसणार आहे. अनेक एम्ब्रियो म्हटलं तर अनेक सीड दिसणार आहे, हे सिट्रस फ्रूट मध्ये दिसते आपल्याला. सो दिस कंडिशन इज नोन एज द अपोमिक्सिस. अपोमिक्सिसला थोडा प्रॅक्टिकल ऍप्लिकेशन आहे. अपोमिक्सिस मुळे अनेक एम्ब्रियो तयार होतो अँड दिस कंडिशन इज ऑल्सो नोन एज द पॉलीएम्ब्रियोनिक. पॉलीएम्ब्रियोनिक कारण अनेक एम्ब्रियो तिथे तयार होतो ना, म्हणून त्याला काय म्हणायचं, पॉलीएम्ब्रियोनिक. पण हा एम्ब्रियो कुठून तयार झालेला आहे, हे डिप्लॉइड पेरिस्पर्म सेल आत घुसून त्यामधून डायरेक्ट तयार झालं. फर्टिलायझेशन मुळे नाहीच आहे, लक्षात ठेवायचं, विदाउट फर्टिलायझेशन. सो दिस पेरिस्पर्म cells entering inside the embryo, inside the endosperm or the embryo, and it converting it behaving as an embryo आणि त्यातून एक सीड तयार होतो. दॅट इज नोन एज द अपोमिक्सिस. हे अपोमिक्सिसला एक प्रॅक्टिकल ऍप्लिकेशन आहे. काय प्रॅक्टिकल ऍप्लिकेशन, फॉर एक्झाम्पल आपण हायब्रिड प्लांट कॅपिटल टी आणि स्मॉल टी हे जे हायब्रिड प्रॉडक्ट, इथं हायब्रिड प्रॉडक्ट आपण तयार केले. हा हायब्रिड प्रॉडक्ट सीड तयार करतो. हा प्लांट पुन्हा काय करणार आहे, सीड तयार करतात. आणि सीड आपण जर मातीमध्ये टाकले त्यातून प्लांट तयार होतो आणि एक प्लांट तयार होणार आहे आणि त्यातून ते सीड आपल्याला ते फूड मिळतो, सीड. असं आपण हायब्रिड जॉवर वगैरे तयार केलेलं आहे. तर हायब्रिड जॉवर असेल, ज्वारी असेल किंवा मेज असं तयार केलेलं आहे. हे सीडमध्ये फूड भरपूर आहे, ते शेतकऱ्याला फायदा आहे. पण नेहमी आपण काय करतो, हे सीड सपोज एक 10 सॅक सीड आहे, 10 सॅक सीड्स आपल्याला मिळाले, त्यातले शेतकरी काय करतो, एक सॅक सीड ते बाजूला ठेवतो. कशासाठी, पुढच्या पेरणीसाठी एक सॅक बाजूला ठेवणार आहे. पण इथं अडचण काय होतो, हे हायब्रिड व्हरायटीचे सीड आपण बाजूला टाकले आणि हा सीड आपण जर जमिनीमध्ये पेरणी केले त्यातून येणारे प्लांट ह्या प्लांट सारखं नसणार आहे, एकदम वेगळं काहीतरी प्लांट येणार आहे, त्याला जास्त उत्पन्न नसणार आहे, लगेच डिसीज पसरणार आहे. असं एक वेगळ्या पद्धतीचं एक सीड इथं तयार होतो. याचं कारण काय, तिथं ह्या प्लांटमध्ये ज्यावेळेला पॉलन ग्रेन्स तयार होतो तिथं मिओसिस होणार आहे आणि एग तयार होतो तिथं मिओसिस होणार आहे. हे मिओसिस होत असताना तिथं जेनेटिकल मिक्सिंग होतं, जेनेटिकल कॅरेक्टरचं मिक्सिंग होणार आहे. असं जेनेटिकल कॅरेक्टरचं मिक्सिंग झालेले हे सीड इथं तयार होते. एक सॅक सीड आपण म्हटलं की नाही, ते आपण पेरणी केल्यानंतर आपल्याला असा प्लांट नाही मिळणार आहे. आणि शेतकऱ्याला काय करावं लागणार आहे, हे सीड, हे हायब्रिड सीड दरवर्ष विकत घ्यायला लागणार आहे. हे हायब्रिड सीडचा खर्च भरपूर आहे आणि त्यातून येणारे हे उत्पन्न किती पण असू दे हे शेतकऱ्याला परवडणार नाही. मग शेतकऱ्याला काय पाहिजे, त्यांचं जे प्रॉडक्ट आहे, पीक आहे, ते पीक मधून थोडं सीड आपण बाजूला ठेवण्याची ते सोय असली पाहिजे. पण तसं करता येत नाही. त्यामुळे काय केलं, हे अपोमिक्सिस पद्धत आपण जर वापरले आणि अपोमिक्सिस जीन या प्लांटमध्ये जर आपण इंट्रोड्यूस केले तिथं अपोमिक्सिस सीड तयार होणार आहे. या अपोमिक्सिस सीड मध्ये फर्टिलायझेशन वगैरे काही नाही. ते अपोमिक्सिस सीड कसं तयार झाले, हे पेरिस्पर्म आत घुसून तयार झालं ना, त्यामुळे त्यामध्ये मिओसिस नाहीच आहे, देयर इज नो pollen grains, there is no egg, there is no fertilization, डायरेक्ट या सेल मधून हे अपोमिक्सिस सीड तयार होतो. म्हणजे अपोमिक्सिस सीड या प्लांट सारखेच असणार आहे. अपोमिक्सिस सीड आपण जर जमिनीमध्ये पेरणी केले त्यातून अगदी सेम प्लांट तयार होणार आहे. म्हणून त्याला असेक्शुअल रिप्रोडक्शन म्हणतो आपण. पण ते सेक्शुअल रिप्रोडक्शन सारखं आपल्याला वाटतंय. सो शेतकऱ्यांसाठी नवीन नवीन सीड तयार करण्याचे गरज नाही, कारण आपण या प्लांटमध्ये असं एक जीन इंट्रोड्यूस केलेला आहे. हा जीन मुळे काय होतं, तिथं अपोमिक्टिक सीड तयार होतं. ते सीड डेव्हलपड इट इज नोन एज द अपोमिक्टिक सीड. अपोमिक्टिक सीड तयार होतं. हे अपोमिक्टिक सीड खर्च फार कमी आहे, हे शेतकऱ्याला आपण देऊ शकते, कमी खर्चाने आपण देऊ शकते. आणि शेतकरी अपोमिक्टिक सीड विकत घ्यायचे आणि ते आपण त्यांना पाहिजे तेवढं उत्पन्न काढता येते. हा एक फायदा या अपोमिक्सिस मध्ये आहे. ओके, सो दॅट इज द प्रॅक्टिकल इम्प्लिकेशन ऑफ द अपोमिक्सिस. ओके, आता प्रॅक्टिस चालू आहे, एक्सपेरिमेंटल प्रोसिजर चालू आहे. प्रत्येक प्लांटमध्ये अपोमिक्टिक सीड तयार करून हे शेतकऱ्यांचे फायदा वाढवण्याचं हे काम आता चालूच आहे. सो दॅट इज द सीड, अपोमिक्सिस, पोली एम्ब्रियोनिक, etc. So this is the last part of this unit or this chapter, that is the reproduction in the sexual reproduction in the flowering plant. This is the last part of this chapter. Okay, so thank you very much. Let us see next lecture.